which is no longer speaking about a description of Rasulullah's own footwear, but about how to wear footwear and guidance about footwear. So in this narration of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying, none of you should walk in just one slipper or just one sandal, just one piece of footwear on. Now, this prohibition as such is for showing a dislike of, it's not haram to do that. Right? It's dislike to do it for health reasons and dini reasons. Now, what would be a dini reason of why you can't walk in one foot? With just one shoe on? We can understand health reasons that you'd be unstable. Eventually, the pressure on one side will maybe cause you to become imbalanced in your backbone, and so on and so forth. Right? So there are clear health reasons that could be understood. But what's a dini reason of prohibiting? How could there be a dini reason? Anybody have an idea?
Is it to do with shaitan?
That's an easy one to blame it on the shaitan, clearly. But more specifically, everything bad is from the shaitan, clearly. So, what's more specifically? Well, one thing that comes to mind is, if you do that, somebody's going to think, is this guy Be'okuf? Right? They're going to make fun of you, because no decent person does that. So it's going to cause people to criticize you, condemn you, and they're going to be sinful for doing that, because they should mind their own business, really. But people can't help it. But you're causing them to do that. So that is one reason, that from a dini perspective as well, but there must be more than that as well. Anyway, it's makruh. It's makruh, it's not haram, it's makruh. Unless it's for a reason. But in general, there are some ulama who looked at it and said that even if you're walking and one of your shoes, let's just say the sole came off, you bought them cheap and the glue just came apart, it was a hot day, and the glue came apart, and now you're walking with talking shoes, and you'd rather walk without them. So you took one off, take both off. Right, so either walk, and the Prophet ﷺ will say that in another hadith, either walk with both of them or take both off and just walk normally with stability. But there will be times when you have to, because maybe it's just so hot on the sand or whatever, and one of your slippers got stolen when you went for Umrah, for example. Now you could steal somebody else's, as people normally do, you need to find another one that looks like it, you take those. Or he probably took money. You don't do that. You don't do that. Now people have become a lot more savvy. They take these bags with them, where you put them in there and you hardly lose them. The best is to have big feet. Nobody will take your slippers. Right? Or just get slippers that are big, that are larger than your size 12. Nobody will take them. Less people. You have 7, 8, 9, 10. Too many people have the same. They think it's theirs. And the problem is that all the slippers are the same. So, wallahu a'lam. We don't think people are stealing them. They just think they're yours. They think they're theirs, so that's why they take them. We have to have a good opinion about people there. So now, let's just say it's so hot. Now you try to walk on both feet, you're going to be suffering. So maybe in that case, it will be not so makruh to hop on one foot. Right? And I think you see that quite often, people doing that there, especially on Dhuhr time in the peak. Right? You will probably see people hopping on one foot. They've lost it. They don't want to steal somebody or take somebody else's. So then, what do? So there could be a need. So it's not like some absolute prohibition. You can't do it. You're going to burn your feet. There is a narration. Ibn Hajar says, there is a narration in which it says that the Prophet ﷺ has done this once for some reason. But that could be that it was some really unique situation, or it was before the prohibition. And the Prophet ﷺ never did it again. Because then later he said, take them both off. So he says, the Prophet ﷺ said, do not walk just in one piece of footwear. Now the diniya and dunyawiyya, it's against the decency of a normal person to walk like that. It's because they will create some imbalance in the way you walk. It will make you wave to and fro. Also, it could cause you to trip up because you're not balanced. It could cause you to trip up. And subhanAllah, try this if you want to. stand on something that is even 2 centimeters or 1 centimeter higher than the other, right? Pavement is quite clear, but something even lower than a pavement, just something 2 centimeters higher than the other. Put one foot on one side, another foot on the other side, and extend your arms. And tell somebody to push your arms down. You will notice that if you're standing on flat ground with both feet level, you will have more power in your arms, as you normally do, right, to resist somebody trying to push your arms down if they're outstretched, than when you're on a slightly one lower and one higher level. You will notice that you will lose your power. You won't retain the same power. So it could refer to, it gives a possibility of falling down. Also, the problem of stumbling, the problem of one hip becoming higher than the other, backbone problems, and so on and so forth. And then the fact that you're going to have somebody else maybe become sinful if they start laughing at you. And the Prophet ﷺ said you should avoid all of these things. So there are more than one reason for avoiding it. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said that if a person breaks their wudu in salat, what are they supposed to do? You're not supposed to just casually walk out. You can't stick around as well, because you can't carry on in salat if you break your wudu. It's really bad to do that. There's some really serious warnings about that. Then casually walking out, oh, he's broken his wudu. So what the Prophet ﷺ said is that you should hold your nose and go out. So to make people think that you had a nosebleed, which is a lot more people, according to people, decent than letting off wind. Now you might think that's lying. It's not lying. You're not telling them I didn't break my wudu like that, I broke it like this. You're just going like that. Now if somebody's silly enough to ask you, did you really do that? That's their problem. But that's what you're supposed to do. So people think, oh, he's had a nosebleed. The Prophet ﷺ said that. So if that's the case there, you shouldn't show your defects like that. It doesn't give room to lie. It doesn't give room to lying permissibility. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, لا تكن للشيطان عونا على أخيك. Do not become an assistant for shaitan against your brother. So in this case here, if you're going to walk in an unstable way and you're helping shaitan to laugh, to tell this person to laugh at you and earn sin, and that's not a good idea. Ibn al-Arabi does say that this is the way the shaitan walks. That had to be one explanation, right? Ibn al-Arabi said that actually, that it's the way the shaitan walks. Some have gone as far as saying, in fact they've said that many of the ulama have agreed on this, that because of this narration, let's just say that your sandal strap broke of one, and you are standing in the other one, even on top of the other one, or standing in the other one, you shouldn't do that. You should take both off, and you shouldn't even just stand in one. Because it's not becoming of a decent person to do that. Although others have said, look, if you have to stand on them because the ground is dirty or whatever, then there should be nothing wrong with that. Some have said that based on this, that it also gives us an understanding that if somebody's wearing a jacket or a coat, or a shirt or whatever, and he's got one arm through and the other one he doesn't, that's also an imbalance and shouldn't do that either. I don't know how you could do that in trousers, but with the shirt definitely, you could have some people try to do that. So it's not nothing to do. I mean, if that's a way people look cool or something, well then that's the people you're following. It's not what Rasulullah told us to do. Except in Hajj, where we're told to do it in a particular way, leave the right shoulder there. There's a wisdom in doing that for that reason. Likewise, said that if you're wearing a khuf in one and a sandal in the other one, a shoe on one and a slipper in the other one, it's weird. You don't do that kind of stuff. Wearing two different types of socks, nobody can see it, maybe you might get away with it. If it's in the shoes, but if it's outside, one red and one green one, it doesn't look good. Right? It should be avoided. That's right. Then the Prophet ﷺ